not shave. Brush is going to be this little mystery badger. Looks like a 2-band badger. Most of the time when the blackness of the badger goes all the way to the bottom here and you think it's a decent quality one, it's not going to be a 3-band like a silver tip. This is more like a 2-band. So usually 2-bands have a couple of traits with them. Sometimes they can have really soft tips, but usually they have a lot of backbone, or at least more compared to a silver tip. I don't like a lot of backbone, so we'll just see how this little guy acts. He's going to be good for face lathering because the handle's fairly short. If you're bowl lathering, then you can see once you're in a bowl, your fingers are going to get kind of messy. So, I mean, obviously he's going to work for bowl lathering because that's what I'm going to do with him. But a longer handle is usually a little better for bowl lathering. So I like to soak mine in a cup. You don't have to, but I get mine wet that way. The razor for today, I'm going to jump back to the old standard, the Rockwell. This is a stainless steel, 6S, and the plate for the start of the shave is the 4. So we're going to put in it. I'm getting really close to 100 shaves. That means 97 shaves. So today's 98 with my Gillette Nacet. This is the first blade I've taken to a high number of shaves. I spent a lot of time working through samplers, things like that, previous. And then in August, I just started shaving with this one, and I kind of just haven't quit. This Rockwell has the usual type of top cap that has posts coming out of it. And then you put the number of the plate that you want on the outside, and the widths and all that stuff of the base plate just work out. Rockwell handles are threaded onto the cap here with a different threading than like just about most of the other ones, like Gillette's and the vintage Gillettes, Parkers, Mercurs, Jaggers, Charcoal Goods, Timeless, Wolfman, you know, all those guys use a certain kind of threading, and Rockwell is slightly different. Sometimes it will actually go on, but you risk stripping the threads if you apply too much pressure to it while it's in that state. Looks like we have a great blade overhang on this. The 4 is kind of the top end of the comfort zone that I usually would enjoy back when I had younger blades. We're going to try it today and see how it does, because this blade usually likes more aggressive settings. I think I went to a 5 one time in this with this razor, and I had to back it down even with the older blade. Today's soap, the thing about Cold River is they don't put the name of the soap on the top of the jar, at least not back in when this one was. They have it on the bottom, Savon #1, and Savon means soap. And this is a lavender and cedarwood blend, and it's a good soap company, so I expect good things, but I haven't exactly tried this one yet. So I'm going to splash my face with a little bit of prep water. Alright, that was cold, and it is almost, next week is Thanksgiving, and it is getting cold around here. As my usual technique lately, I'm going to kind of get rid of most of the water from the brush here. Puck has not been bloomed. This is not a hard puck. It's firm, but it's not hard. It's not one of those trouble milled pucks, and so you don't need to soak it. You should not bloom it or soak it. All right, where's the counter? All right, there we go, 30. We're going to do 20 second load. So we're starting at 30. I can feel these bristles be kind of firm already. This might be a hard little brush. You know, I haven't used both of these, so instead of stopping at 50, I'm going to do 30 seconds of loading. I'll probably have plenty of lather left over, but since it's the fast that smell is coming up, That I guess it's partly lavender. Almost smelled like orange, to be honest with you. A zesty type orange. Maybe that's the combination of the lavender and the cedar wood. So this is what it looks like after 30 seconds of loading. And my dry lather bowl. This is not a big knot. I would guess it's probably a 22 or 20. See how easy this tiny little handle is to hold on to once it gets all soapy and stuff. Now, go to the syringe. I know I'm going to need probably 2 to 3 teaspoons of water added to this, so I just put 1 teaspoon in as a starter upper. I have Cold River Olfactory Hue, which is a nice one as well. Good scent. Sandalwood element in that one, as I recall. Just going to go ahead and put the rest of the syringe. That's 2 teaspoons added. I have hard water, as usual. So this looks like it's going to be just fine. This lather is a good one. If you have hard water, looks like it's tolerant. Very nice looking so far. Nice sheen on it. I will refill the syringe and we'll put in, start slowing down. Don't quite need to go as fast now that we're starting to get to where we may want to stop. Oh, look at that slide down the brush. That's a good sign of a nice, oh, look at that nice wet lather. Little finger test here. Probably need to go ahead and stop. I can just feel that I have ridges in my fingerprints. Not a lot of cushion. Let's go with this. I'm glad, from the looks of it, I'm glad I went with the 30 seconds. I get face wet. Lavender is a very popular ingredient in men's shaving soaps. I usually don't like it when it's too dominant. It's just a kind of a feminine floral, you know, a little bit. However, I totally don't mind when they bring it in as a component of a medley or a supporting ingredient. So we'll just have to see how lavender plays with this one. Brush is definitely on the scrubby side. The backbone is, it's there, but it's not shoving my cheeks around like so many others do. And so I guess where this one is, it's just being all scrubby. And so if I ever had the need for that, I now know which brush to grab. Man, this just smells like there's some citrus in there. Maybe that's just what lavender and cedarwood, when they join together, I could see them kind of smelling that way. Now, let's just see if the 4 setting here is going to be good for the age of this blade. Oh, that feels good. I can feel the blade. I can feel the cutting. It's not super comfortable, but it's fine. So we'll just have to look and see at the end of the shave if I got a nice close shave or not. You know, this the Rockwell company is really good at customer service. Heard a lot of good things about how customers were done right. For a long time, it was kind of one of the razors that people recommended because you know, it's stainless steel, so it's not cheap, but it's going to last you a lifetime. And it comes with 3 plates, and 1 and 3, 2 and 4, and then 5 and 6. So you get 6 different settings, 6 aggression settings. Your rinse. Now for me, the upper numbers weren't, while cutting well, they weren't as comfortable. And but when I went down to lower numbers, that's where the Rockwell would really shine. Just giving comfortable, smooth shaves easily. And so that's one of the first times I discovered, hey, you know what, I don't always have to go for the most aggressive shave. Sometimes a good smooth shave is nice too. That's just so comfortable and all that. Even though I can handle a 4 pretty easily, I would sometimes go down to the 2 and just enjoy the shave. The cut was different, but not different enough in some cases to warrant the, you know, why not just go for the smooth option. Now, let's see if it's a different beast now that we've knocked down that first pass. Pretty vocal. This is one of those razors that doesn't really clamp down right close to the edge of the blade. If you look, the bottom edge of the blade, there's maybe 4 or 5 millimeters that's untouched. You know, the top is closer, and so that usually means it's going to be a razor that you can hear because you get that vibration. I generally like those razors that clamp down really well. They just seem to have a firmness about them, like predictability, consistency, things like that. All right, there we go. So the Rockwell was a really good razor for a long time. Then this car of Christopher Bradley came along with changeable base plates as well. It's a little more than the Rockwell, but to me it looks better and it shaves better. I can across the range, I get a better experience from that one. So it may have unseated the Rockwell, at least for me. All right, let me rinse. I was feeling just a little bit of tenderness in my neck area during that second pass. So I'm going to bump it down to the 3. Let's see how that behaves. Now, one of the disadvantages to a scrubby brush is that third pass here. Is that if you shave with a more aggressive brush and it kind of, razor or blade and setting and all that stuff, then it can kind of harshen up your skin a little bit, make it a little tender, and a scrubby brush can kind of give you brush burn. Agitate that tender skin if it's too scrubby, which is why I prefer the soft, poofy ones. Here's an example of a 3-band silver tip. The darkness doesn't go down into the root like the 2-band I just showed you. And so often those will have really soft, poofy experience, great tips, and sometimes a little bit of flop, but it's fine with me. All right, let's see how this 3 does. That's much better. That's like night and day. I mean, what I'm thinking is now, is this going to shave close enough to give me a good cut? Very comfortable and smooth. On 3, you have to watch your angle a little bit more because there's less blade exposure. The blade is sticking out from the razor less, and so the angle of possibility diminishes a little bit. So you have to pay closer attention. That was a smooth pass right there. This is a very enjoyable lather. Very slick. This is just something that proves the point that, I'm glad the artisans are pushing the different bases and coming out with new bases and stuff that for their soaps that are comfortable and protective and slick and all those things. But this is an older soap. This is, a few years old, and feels great. Seriously, to me this thing could compete And this is only the Select. I think there's something else called Glide in this maker, you know. Now I usually do have to do, when the blade is this old, a pass after my 3 passes to get this little area right next to my Adam's apple. Sometimes I'll tilt the razor a little bit and, you know, go that way. Sometimes that tilting motion really helps you. Okay, we still got some guys right there. A little splash. And then I'll grab some more soap. Looks like that was the, I'm very glad I did it for 30 seconds because I'm needing just about all of this soap. Comfortable here. My neck is getting tender in this area that I'm hitting so many times. So this will be the last time I do this one. There we go. And that's really where the older blades will start to show their ages, and you need them to do more passes to get the same shave that you did 30 shaves ago. Yeah, so I think I'll take the Rockwell out of the list of eligible bachelors for this blade. It did a good job. It's a good shave. It's a nice close shave. Cheeks got done maybe 90%. Baby butt smooth without going against the grain. The comfort was high. Disassembling the razor and putting it over on my towel there to kind of start drying. And let me go down and look for post-shave stuff. I love the scent of Dr. John's Black Label. It's not super related to this particular soap scent, but that's alright. This is an alcohol splash, but it's also got witch hazel, rose water, glycerin, aloe, alum, and unfortunately for me it does have menthol. So let's do a final check to see if this is the kind of menthol concentration that gives me more of a burning sensation than a cooling one. But I love the scent. At least on the soap I do. I'm not getting a lot of stinging. Just a tiny bit down here. So that means my technique was good during the shave. The blade didn't nick me or gouge me even in an unseen way. You know, with the scent strength on the soap, it was present during the shave. I'd say maybe it's a 3 or a 4. I'd say a solid 4 out of 10. I did appreciate it. It was there. It's a pleasant scent. I don't think it's not super masculine. I think it's kind of neutral in the terms of the gender. There we go. Now the cooling menthol is starting to kick in there. But the thing is, the cedar wood and the lavender, I can definitely tell why they paired those together. They work really well together. I don't really like lavender, but the cedar wood comes in and does something different to it, and it really does give it more like a citrus almost taste. I'm sorry, smell. And so I can see why that's such a popular combination. but there's just so many amazing scents out there. I don't think this is one I would want to use my time too much on. But that's just me. But it's very nice. The performance was excellent. Very happy with that. Just a tremendous lather. Slick. It protected well. I used it pretty much all up. And so this little badger, how about him? So his size was not an issue. He was a little scrubby. I don't know, maybe I need to keep one scrubby brush around. Maybe I don't need to have a bunch of soft poof balls, you know. But the handle shape, yeah, you know, could be better. But I got it for a great deal. So we'll keep it around for a little bit longer. Neat little guy. Scrubby dude. All right, I am going to the scent here. Fortunately, the menthol's not really happy that it's not too strong. I feel like it's going to fade in just a couple minutes. It's already starting to. It's not getting too much into a burning sensation. I feel like tobacco, smoke, some musk is in this aftershave, and that's just, to me, it's just got a lot of character, a lot of story to it. I just like it. I'm going to clean up. So we ended up adding to the lather 2 3/4 teaspoons of water, in addition to the lightly wetness that was in the brush at the time of loading. So nice thirsty soap, and how about that? Fairly firm, I guess, because normally with many soaps like Noble Otter and Barrister and Man and those guys, at the 30-second load, it gives me like maybe 2 or 3 extra passes of lather at the end, and I did not have that here. So that might have been a hard soap that just, but that's cool because it worked out. It's probably just a little harder, so it takes a little bit longer to get it on the brush, which is nice because it's more conservative that way, in my opinion at least. So it doesn't take as much soap to do the job, which is cool. So the Rockwell is pretty good, but this little guy here gave me a better shave with greater comfort and fewer passes. So I think I'm going to stick with him next time. I like trying stuff out. Well, there we go. Rockwell's a good razor, and it's remarkable how different the 4 was from the 3. The 4 left me feeling a little bit tender in the neck area. The 3 just flipping a switch between night and day, and it was just smooth and comfortable. So how about that? It's a good shave. I have, you know, several hairs where I'm seeing the length on the tip that's exposed, but a lot of them got cut in this trouble spot. Face feels nice. That splash was good for me and my skin. And wow, you know what? I'm impressed with that soap base, because that was a good lather. Really, I mean, to me, I just happened to mix it just right. Top tier, just felt great, really nice. And the blade, another day closer to the 100 mark. Just 2 more, and I think we're good. I hope there was something here that helped you in this shave. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Take care, and good night.